Hello fourth graders, today we're going to start our op art pictures. So the first thing that we want to do is we would like a blank piece of paper that's square. So if you don't have a way to measure and cut down your paper, I'm just going to quickly show you how you can get a square piece of paper. If you don't have any blank sheets of paper at home, I'm just using printer paper right here. You could definitely use lined paper, and we'll just color over top of the lines. We just have to make do with the supplies that we have at home, and that is okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this corner here and I'm going to bring it down so that this side here is flush. Okay, and then I'm just going to take and I am going to fold this. Okay, and I want to keep this as even as I can right here. I'm then going to take and I am going to take my pencil and just trace the line right there. So I just traced this part where this paper overlaps with the paper underneath. I'm going to unfold, and then I have this pencil line. I can just take my scissors then. Okay, now that I have my paper in a square, I am going to find the middle of each side. So I'm going to use my ruler here, and I'm going to know that my square is 8.5 by 8.5. And if I divide 8.5 into half, I get 4 1/4. And if I didn't know that, I could use the calculator. But that was something that I could figure out by myself. So now I'm just going to take and I'm going to make a little dash at 4 1/4, since that is halfway. And I'm just going to make a halfway mark at 4 1/4 on all of my sides. Okay, now if you did not have a ruler, what you could do, instead of measuring your halves, you could take and you could fold your paper, making sure the sides are even, and then fold it, and that would help you find the middle as well. And then I'm going to take and do the same thing that way. And now you can see that I have my folds here that indicate my middle as well. So instead of using a ruler, if you don't have one, just grab a straight edge. It could be a straight piece of cardboard, could be a straight book, something that's going to give you a straight line so that you can draw your straight lines on your half. So you have a vertical and a horizontal line that cuts your paper in half. Next, we need to go ahead and we need to add 2 diagonal lines that also go through the middle of your paper. So you're going to take that straight edge and you're going to line it up at the middle of your page, and you're going to try to line up your corners too as best as you can. There we go. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, lining up the middle and my corners as best as I can. Alrighty, so now I have a vertical and a horizontal and 2 diagonals. Okay, this kind of gives me like a pie. I've got 8 pieces in my pie, so make sure that you have 8 different sections here. That's going to be very important as we're doing this. Okay, now to make an optical illusion, we are going to use different curved lines to give the illusion of part of the paper coming out and part of the paper going away. So how we are going to do that is we are just going to make a little dash at where we think 1/3 and 2/3 of that line are. Same thing over here, 1/3, 2/3, 1/3, and 2/3. So just kind of breaking each of those parts, each side of each piece, into 3 parts. So if you draw 2 dashes, you will have 3 parts there. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing there. And if they're not perfect, that's totally fine. Just try to eyeball it the best as you can here. Okay, now we're going to use our pencil and we are going to draw hills and valleys. So my hill is going to go up from dash to dash. So I'm going to go up and come back down, and that is my hill. Okay, now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to create a valley in the next one. So I'm going to go down and come back up from dash to dash. Okay, so I've got a hill, a valley. Next I'm going to do a hill from dash to dash, followed by a valley. So it's just a pattern, hill to valley, going from dash to dash. And because there are 8 different sections, you should end up with a valley that connects 2 hills, and then the whole circle is complete here. Okay, now you're going to do the same thing, but make sure I have a hill here. I need to start with a hill. So this whole section needs to be the same. So if I've got a hill, I need a hill. I can't do a valley here, or it will throw a whole optical illusion off. So I'm going to go from section, or from dash to dash with a hill. Okay, now dash to dash with a valley, and dash to dash with another hill. Really make sure that your hills and your valleys are lining up. Oh, and I'm a little bit off that dash, but that'll be okay. No big deal. Okay, just make sure that those connect. If I didn't go to my dot there, I need to make sure that they connect. My dash and a valley. Okay, so this is all we needed to do today. We need to this was just kind of the setup for our op art. Okay, our optical illusion. It doesn't look like much right now, but when we start to add our color and we talk about shading next class, you will really see where we're getting some of your artwork will start to pop out, and some of it's going to look like it's going away from you. It's going to turn out very cool, but just make sure that we have everything connecting. Okay, if you have any questions, feel free to send me an email. I will try to answer as fast as I can, or just add a comment on Google Classroom. I can talk to you that way too.